David, you there?
hmm
We're live.
Welcome to the most
The most,
tired episode of Intimate ZVX you will ever hear, watch, hear, see, whatever.
yeah, I got drunk for 4 days straight at a bachelor party this weekend, and David just hasn't been sleeping at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I suck at StarCraft now too, so my hand hurts.
yeah, you haven't played in a while. And I'm
Yeah.
sick. I destroyed my immune system, guys, so enjoy this VOD.
hmm
This, by the way, is Feel So Close by Calvin Harris.
I think everyone in the world knows this song by now.
No, I just found out about it on, like, probably Friday.
What? This is everywhere. It is funny how he says force field though. First time I heard it, I
Field.
totally thought to myself, this guy plays StarCraft.
Alright, well, first game we got coming up here is against oGsForGG. And this is somewhat of a macro game, David, am I right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of metagame-ish stuff going.
Okay, so why don't you explain your thought process, and we are ready to go, though.
Oh, drinking coffee at 11 p.m. just to do this VOD. Oh, such
Whatevs,
a bad
man.
idea.
Whatevs. Are you ready?
Yeah, 41?
3, 2, 1, play. I'm gonna ask my girlfriend to get me things because she just came home. Hey, Linz, I'm feeling sick. Can you get me some Neocitrin?
Did you already have some?
Yeah, I already had some.
You want another one?
I want another one.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's perfect. I just talk like that. All right, so what do we got here, David? Let's get back to the game.
Alright, so on this map, when playing really
You're-
strong Terrans,
You're
you
about
have to...
you're about to find out that he's in this position that you're sending your overlord to as well.
Yeah, yeah. So
Which
basically, against good Terrans, if you get these spawns, you have to play a little bit gimmicky at the start. You really don't want to go into a standard macro game because naturally their positioning, especially when opening any type of siege tank play, so regardless of whether it's bio siege tanks or pure mech siege tanks, they automatically have an advantage that they don't actually have to fight for just because of the positioning. So it's always nice to kind of go into the mid game with a little bit of map dominance, I guess you can say, or just some kind of lead where you do something a little bit aggressive, so that you get to dictate how the game progresses. So that's the beauty of being aggressive in StarCraft 2, not just in this matchup or as Zerg, but in general, right? Like some people forget the benefits of aggression is not just the damage itself, but it causes your opponent's build to change. It gives you scouting, which actually that's what I think the most beneficial thing about aggression is, and I talk about this so much in ZvZ especially, that aggression essentially is a way to scout also. And obviously, last but not least, if it does damage, that's always good. So,
Yeah.
the good thing about me scouting him close spawn like this, obviously it's bad mostly, but the good thing is I get to see the beginnings of his build very, very well. So, not only do I know that he opened 1 racks no gas CC, but I know that he took a double 17 gas. So basically what this tells me is, regardless of whether he decides to go into Banshees or just playing off of factory tech, he's really, really mineral starved. Like, you have to understand that he's basically getting a double refinery before he even hit the 20 food mark. So essentially, he's actually only using what am I thinking? He's actually only using 14 of his workers to mine, and everything else is purely put into that gas deposit to get his factory or Stargate or whatever. Sorry, Starport extra fast. So I'm gonna just take I'm gonna abuse that a little bit. I'm gonna open very, very greedy, as I saw, because I knew that he wasn't 2-raxing me. I opened with an extractor first, then took a 17 pool. Pretty much as greedy as you can. Anything more delayed than that is just not practical, because you don't want to delay your queens too much, because injects are very important. So I'm going to be opening a build that takes advantage of his heavy factory play. I know for a fact that Hellions is pretty much the only viable unit he will have in the next 1 or 2 minutes, just because of the, extreme amount of gas that he took. Like, hypothetically, he could have tricked me and just gone into straight bile, but if you're taking 6 of your workers off of minerals, then the build itself wouldn't really make any sense. So this is bound to do some kind of damage, but we're going to see that he does handle this quite nicely, so obviously it doesn't kill him straight off. And I'm just going to be macroing behind this. So just, I believe I learned this directly from DRG. This build is really good against what 4GG is doing, but it's actually the hard counter to CC first. So if you guys are wondering about this build, if you do scout CC first fast enough and you do this, it actually just kills him. There's actually no transition. So he's going to see my roaches here, and he's going to panic build this tank, even though he tried to research Blue Flame, which was the correct decision, because tanks are basically the counter to this that stops it, either that or a bunker with a Marauder in it. And I'm going to be macroing behind this. And the reason I get this Evolution Chamber is because he did take those gases extremely early. So we can see here he is transitioning into mech, and he is going to be putting down 2 factories, but that second factory could have easily been a starport, in which case his Banshee would come out really quick. So just in case he decided to do damage with the Banshee instead of kill off my roaches, I would need something in my base to defend. So I'm going to be droning behind this, and as you can see, the drone count's going to be favoring me after this, just because I'm going to stop so much mining time. I'm even stopping a meal from mining, which is huge, because within the first 8 minutes it's basically just 3 or 4 meals, and that's very important for his economy. A little bit of harassment. Excellent decision by him, by the way, because Hellions are really useless against
Sick
roaches,
micro there on your drones.
Yes. Yeah, so I got a little lucky there. I was able to trap them in. This is excellent. So
Let's do a time check.
basically, okay, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay, go
21.
ahead. Go ahead.
Wow, that was pretty far, huh?
Yeah, it was 10 seconds. Don't
All
worry,
right, so-
shared replay viewing coming soon.
Macroing behind this. I'm going to take my third. I did see the tank when I went up, and now he's revealed to me siege mode. So I do know for a fact that Banshees are not a possibility. So as you can see, no spores were put down, and I can safely take this third base, because the only real threat to canceling this at this point would be a Banshee, just because if it does research cloak, I'm still tier 1. I don't have an overseer in order to defend it with my queens, no matter how many queens I have. But in this case, because I know there's no Banshee, it's very safe to take this third, and it's very safe to kind of stay on tier 1 just for a little while, just to use those extra resources to get my upgrades a little faster and to drone up as much as I can. So I'm going to be going into a nice heavy lead now, 44 drones to his 36. And the thing with mech is, in these positions, it's very difficult for me to actually attack into him. But, contrary to also there is a benefit to it, is that because my roaches are so fast, and because he was forced to open straight into siege tanks, his army is actually pretty much immobile until he's almost maxed. See, mech armies are dangerous when they get to open, purely Hellions, and then slowly transition into maybe Thors, Banshees, or tanks in the later game when their economy
How come you're not
goes
going to
up.
show him all your roaches here?
Oh, I was just scared he was going to run into my main base.
Oh, okay.
Blue Flame Hellions are so dangerous, right?
Okay.
Because I have absolutely no ability to block. So, I mean, it's unpractical for him to do that, but if he did do it, then it would have worked. He could have gone straight to my main, and that's just a horrible situation. So,
I thought you were hiding them.
no, not at all.
That's smart too, though.
All right, so at this point, what I want to focus on are upgrades that benefit my roaches, but I want to also kind of think into the late game. So, I am building roaches here because that is basically all I need. I do see that he's trying to take this third base here. I think I'm going to get the creep just in time, just kind of cute. But anyways, about upgrades.
Yeah.
A lot of people get especially when you're against mech and you're going to be going roaches for quite a while. I think they make the incorrect decision to get the armor upgrade plus the range upgrade, which benefits roaches, because roaches actually late game are pretty bad against regardless anything Terran, whether it's mech or bile, and the ability for me to get melee upgrade, which is what I'm getting right now, you see that. Zerglings aren't really that strong against Hellions in the early game, but late game, when you have a ton of upgrades, it gives you the ability to easily transition into Ultralisks. And the beauty of Zergling upgrades is whenever you are engaging. Yep, what? Oh, sorry. Whenever you're engaging an attack in which you have a huge number of roaches and he has Hellions and either tanks or Thors in the back, your Remax, usually you want it to be the cheapest and fastest building unit. And the beauty of it is the Hellions are always the first to die, so when Hellions are all dead and you're remaxing on nothing but, fully upgraded Lings, and he has nothing but tanks and Thors, Lings actually do better in that fight than just Roaches, as Roaches are actually hard countered by tanks, and upgraded Thors are pretty good against Roaches themselves as well. So, it's just one thing to note about upgrades.
Cool beans.
I am able to go Infestors here, but I am able to delay my Infestor tech because there's no threat of Banshees, which is kind of good. I mean, that is the beauty of opening with the aggressive build like this. I did have a full scout as to what he was doing.
You do want to get into tier 3 though, right? That's your eventual goal here.
Yes,
to fight the mech.
definitely. Yeah, and you want to have a lot of drones so that you can open up as many tech as you want. So, the best counter to mech is Broodlords, but if I have the ability to switch between Ultralisks and Broodlords, I'm even in a better position. So that's why you should pay attention to which upgrades you're choosing to do, etc. So that you open your doors to all the tech paths. You're not just stuck going Broodlords, and then you get into a weird situation where he has too many Vikings, and you kind of want to switch into Ultralisks. But you can't anymore because all his units are upgraded 3-3, and if you go into Ultralisks when you're, not even 3-3, it's going to be like 0-3 Ultralisks, and that actually doesn't work because Ultralisks don't really hard counter his units anyways, so upgrades are very important. So I am going up to 82 drones. If he lets me, and if he shows me that he's in a defensive position and sits there and tries to take an additional base, I probably will go even up to 95 to 100 here. But as is, he is going to try to move out. And the reason why he's doing this is because he knows that if he secures this goal, the game is pretty much over. Especially because he has a ton of command centers queued up. So he actually doesn't even have to begin SCV production anymore. He can purely rely on mules. So I'm going to have to set up a nice flank here. On paper, his army is actually slightly stronger than mine. Mech is very dangerous when it's above 150 supply. In this case, it's actually at 170. But we're going to see a nice little flank here that I set up, and this lets me kind of take this. So, I am thinking about transitioning here, but I am going to max fully on Roaches here and put down my Ultralist den because I do need to clean this up. And if I wait for Ultralist to pop in order to deal with this, then I'm definitely going to lose that gold base, which is also important. So you see how the engagement here is basically what wins me the entire game. He is going to clean up this wave, but I was able to clear all of his tanks, and that
huge.
pretty much means GG. Yeah. Because what's going to end up happening here is he's never going to be able to take that gold base that he's trying to take, and that's basically game because I have 2 additional bases here. So once our main is mined out, he's going to be on 2 base and I'm going to be on 4. And as you can see, I am remaxing here on 36 Lings, and you're going to see how strong Lings are when they're actually not being hit by the Hellions. So you basically just want to make sure that they get as many seconds as possible on everything that is not Hellions, because Lings, they die really quick, but they do damage extremely quick, especially when Adrenal Glands is finished. So all you need is a nice surround with your Lings on the Thors and the tanks for a good 2 or 3 seconds, and his units will drop like flies so efficiently as well, because Zerglings are essentially free compared to Thors and Zerglings. So an excellent engagement by me. As you can see, even though I did lose some drones, the first thing I'm going to do is shoot up back, building 17 drones here, because against mech, it is very important to have your econ as booming as possible. And as you can see here, I don't have the mineral deposit to go into Ultralisks yet, but I do have the gas deposit to do so. So I'm going to kind of set myself up to eventually transition into fully upgraded Ultralisks by just maxing on Lings here, so I can keep that gas deposit. But as is, I am going to deny this expansion, and essentially all of his units are there as well, so that's going to be GG.
And that's it. Excellent game.
Yep.
Alright, so we'll be back for game 2 in a short while.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Intimate ZVX was Stoic episode 21. He is Stoic Regrets.
Oh yeah, and he's still Google.